Well, a very good evening to each and everyone of you joining myself and Michael. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm all right. Have you had a good week?
I have indeed. I was at Comic Relief last week.
You were?
I was indeed, yeah. Big red nose on my face, yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was.
Traitors.
The traitors.
Traitors.
All over that.
You just cannot beat Dawn French's fringe opening like a curtain.
You know what? She did a pretty good Claudia impression, didn't she?
It was weird, wasn't it? And when she shut the air off, I was expecting it to be grey because that's kind of how her hair used to be. Didn't it? It was very good. Little appearance from Jen Saunders.
Yes.
Yes. And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And I got to see Bewitched perform live.
Bewitched. That one.
I'll perf that one, yeah.
You're a what? Okay. On the show today, we've got the one and only Ashley Stone. He's been out reviewing yet another show. We're going to be asking if you really think you know Manchester.
And we're down to 53-2.
And if that's not enough, we're also looking at a fabulous charity event that happened that was part of last Friday.
Yes, that all looked very good.
It was very, very good. It was a very full night. 3 hours with Mark Llewellyn.
Oh, goodness
me.
Well,
again, it relates back to Claudia Winkleman and Tess Daly. Strictly Come Dancing. More about that later on. This is how your show's looking. So, have you been around Manchester recently?
I have, given I live here, yeah.
Seen anything that excites you?
Not a great deal.
Would you say you think you know Manchester?
I wouldn't.
Well, one man who does is our Ollie Mortimer, and this is what he had to find out.
Hello. You join me here, behind this lovely station, in the middle of a place in Manchester. Now, my name's Ollie. Nice to meet you again. I just gave you a handshake. And we are here for the next episode of Think You Know Manchester. Come with me. This is a series where I show you 2 places around our beautiful city that you might not have even heard of, or that you might not know too much about. Spinningfields, the city's financial centre and a popular destination for entertainment and shopping. Developed in the 2000s, the £1.5 billion project consisted of a whopping 20 new buildings for the city centre. In 1968, Spinningfield and the area just south were turned into a large open paved area called Spinningfield Square. Often described as the Canary Wharf of the North, Spinningfields is not a location to be missed. Spinningfields is home to 42 different stores, restaurants, cafes, bars and businesses. Let's go and see a few of them. The Ivy, a swanky establishment home to traditional English dishes and cocktails. The fast casual restaurant, Pret a Manger, also known as Pret, which is French for ready to eat. The Lawn Club, serving beers, cocktails and an all-day menu. And Itsu, healthy, freshly made Asian-inspired food for you. The classic M&S food hall. I am now at my next location. This is a space with a variety of independent and creative businesses. This is The Hatch. Home to shops, hairdressers, street food bars and many, many more. Each trader within Hatch offers a unique, fresh experience. And the traders rotate frequently, so every time you go, you'll definitely find something new. The Hatch is a place home to loads of different businesses. It's just off Oxford Road, very near to Manchester Metropolitan University, under the Mancunian Way. Now here you can see that there is a variety of different businesses and vendors living right inside here in the Hatch, and we're going to go and speak to them right now.
We've opened up this new charity shop which we've called the Curiosity Shop, because obviously we've got all these bits and bobs that we collect. Age UK, they help with the old people. It's a good way to try and be sustainable but also towards a good cause as well.
Ciao bello, I'm Romeo and I'm an Italian guy. Basically we decided to bring a little bit of our island, our culture and the food, using the main ingredients and the most icons on the street food that represent us. What's special about Sicilian food, it's pretty much the ingredients from the land and all the different recipes that part of Italy has to offer. It's very important for me to serve this food in Manchester. It's very, very open-minded. In the very last few years, the industry of food has grown a lot.
I think that was really great to get to know some of the little businesses that are living right here within the Hatch.
Well, how fantastic.
I know.
Now, listen, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a few extra guests in Manchester at the moment.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, we noticed that there's now these electric sort of vehicles that can deliver Amazon parcels. But get this, they now have little robots that can deliver you items from the Co-op.
Co-op.
The co-op.
Very good. Co-op to most of us here in Manchester. But how do you feel about that, though? They're doing it of their own accord. It's not going to be long until they're all doing, our jobs.
It's a bit concerning, isn't it? I mean, like our producer Ollie said he was out and about doing a driving lesson, and he was like, "Do I have to give way to this little robot in the?" But they sing as well.
Yes, they sing.
They sing.
Well, I'm definitely out of a job then, aren't I?
The bare necessities.
They sing the bare necessities. Yeah. Speaking of places around Manchester, there's a beautiful, beautiful venue called 53-2. Now, with the cost of living crisis at the moment, things aren't going too well for them. To the point where they are now asking their wonderful supporters and followers to just give a quid. And directly from there now is their two owners, and this is what they had to say.
Hello, lovely people. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
You'll have seen we've got some really exciting stuff coming up, and we've got plenty more to shout about. But for now, we're asking for your help.
We're always asking for help. As you know, everyone's struggling right now with bills and the crazy cost of living, not least venues. For us, our energy bills have increased almost 100%. Our business rates discretionary relief has been removed, increasing that by 20%. And we've been successful in our ACE and GMCA applications.
Now, this is no different to most venues who aren't recipients of the wonderful support from the city and government, but we only have certain avenues that we can pursue to keep our doors open.
And these all, unfortunately, involve you. Sorry about that. But don't panic. It won't cost anything you can't afford.
So, here's how you can help. Number 1, on social media, support us by sharing your posts, recommending us to your mates and just helping us get people through our door.
Number 2, come in yourself and grab a coffee or a beer or a wine. It is a great place to come and meet, work from home, sort of, socialise and of course watch theatre.
3, we've launched a brand new scheme called Give Us a Quid. For this, we're asking for those who can afford it to donate £1 a week. This isn't a great deal, but we have 11,000 followers, and even just a small fraction of these subscribing to this would make a huge difference.
Number 4, for those who can afford a little bit more, we are selling our bricks. Not literally, of course. As you know, our stunning arches contain hundreds of bricks, and we love those who can afford it to sponsor one. This is a recommended donation of £40, and you can have your inscription on that brick in the venue to enjoy every time you pop in.
And number 5, for those who can afford a little more, why not head to our gala night for bricks on the 24th of March. Tickets are limited and £15, but when you're here, you'll get to watch legend Tony Walsh perform his brand new poem, written entirely for 53-2.
On the night, and whilst they last, there'll be a chance to buy one of 53 screen print copies signed by Tony himself, and there'll also be 2 personalised framed screen prints, and we can't wait to share this stunning poem.
So a few options there, and if you can't afford any, please do share, tell your mates, retweet and keep the love going. Without you, we'd be nothing, and right now, we really need you.
So there we are, 2 lovely people, and they are lovely people.
They're great. I always love when we have them on the programme.
And their shows that they put on there are so diverse, different, and they're giving everybody a go at theatre. They have described themselves as a balloon without air because they do need the support of the people that basically believe in that venue. So many venues not getting the support that they should have.
Maybe just had obviously about Oldham Coliseum most recently. Now 53-2. So it's, please do, if you can, spare a couple of quid or even just that retweet, as I said. It does help in any way possible. Now, I don't know about you, Belinda, but for me growing up, to try and get into this sort of creative industry, it was so difficult. There was nothing TV-wise for me around the northeast. And coming to Manchester was such a great opportunity for myself, going to study down at Salford Uni and things, studying journalism, and now look where I am. I'm on the sofa with you. And we thought we would give some students down at Access Creative College just a little taster of what it's like at a day here at your Manchester.
What a life to have a Fiat 500. It's not even mine, because I'm here in a car park in Manchester, not for Think You Know Manchester 2, but for a new VT, which I am here to tell you all about. So we have given someone the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, this person has always wanted to get into film, TV and journalism, and we at Your Manchester thought, how perfect would it be to give them the day to remember? Yes, you. Michael, you'll have to refocus me there, but yes, Michael. Do you remember dogging in the park with the Alsatians? Not only were the Alsatians dogging in the park, but they were interrupting your interview. And tell me how, Michael, how on earth could we create sustainable human beings.
You are a bunch of bastards!
I hired a man and he did everything that I told him to do and say prior to the interview.
I'm just going to go straight into it, Frankie, and just say hello, Alex. Right. So I'm joined by Alex now. Hello to you, Alex.
Hello, Matthew. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So what can you tell me about the work that you do?
Well, we're about to be given permission to develop the first ever park in Manchester. Will you shut the f*** up? The first ever park in Manchester, and it's going to be the only place where we will be able to develop sustainable human beings and recycled human beings as well.
It's a lot better, I guess, to have a nice open space rather than some more high-rise apartments.
Well, I think so. Although there's a lot of people from the foreign countries that are actually disagreeing with the way that we're going to be doing this sustainable area. Apparently, it's not the way to do things.
In regards to other public spaces in Manchester, what would be different about the one that you are working on?
We are going to sorry, Matthew. One second. Can you please not do that now? I'm just trying to do a little bit of an interview here. Thank you. Sorry, Matthew. What was your question?
It's Michael, my friend, and I just asked about what would be different about the area that you're working on compared to other public spaces in Manchester.
Well, public spaces these days are predominantly concrete, and we're going to have green areas. It's going to be a park there. It's going to be a lot nicer environment. We believe, as well as being able to develop our main goal, which is recyclable human beings.
And what do you mean by that? That's an interesting concept.
Just
how do you make a recyclable human being?
well, so when they die and they're put in the ground.
Go on.
I seem to be having a bit of an issue with my thing here.
Don't worry, you take all the time.
So yes, I'm sorry about the noise in the background there. So we're going to be
scheduled for another time if you'd prefer.
No. I'm nearly through now saying what I need to say, so we'll stay with it. We're going to. Why is it not a very good interview for you then, Matt?
No. I was concerned that you're preoccupied, that maybe you needed a different environment to do the interview in. So way easy. If you would like to do it somewhere a little bit quieter another time, that's fine.
Oh no, this is fine. I've just slapped
wonderful.
Them out.
As long as you're okay.
So recyclable human beings.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to watch people fully be buried, and then from that, using our sustainable CO2 gas, we'll be able to reborn them in around about 63 years' time. It's cost around about £150 million, and it's a great thing. I mean, I'm getting a wee amount of money for this from the government. But originally, we did take this to the spaces within the northeast, and they actually said no to us, which is a shame, really. But thankfully, the good people in in Manchester have fully given us permission to go ahead and do all this, which is great, and it'll be very exciting, and particularly it'll be a nice place for people that want to go dogging as well. So that would be nice as well, don't you think?
Well, possibly, maybe.
Because
are you into that yourself?
Well, yes, I have an Alsatian. So,
I see.
Yeah.
I'm more of a cat person myself.
All right, yeah, no, she's had it again. Gwyneth, attack again. Honestly, one wee second.
That's all right.
We mentioned dogging, we mentioned recyclable human beings. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today was it's a good place for babies as well.
Oh, I see. Why is that?
Well, they'll all have nice prams and everything, and they'll be able to fully enjoy themselves and, enjoy life to the maximum with the parents, of course, not on their own. So, listen, I think perhaps...
What was that? Sorry, Alex?
The wee burn's packing up now.
You're not having much luck today, are you?
What? I'm so sorry about this, Matthew.
It's all right, Alex.
I do apologise. We'll get back to it another time. I'm gonna step out of this interview now. That's what you yourself.
That's fine with me, my friend. You have a good day and best of luck with this project of yours.
Somebody banging pots and pans, and he was saying it was his wife, and he was like shouting off the camera to his wife. Then he was saying, "Oh, there's the baby crying." He said, "Don't worry, I'll just pick them later." Yeah. He started saying something about burying bodies in the park and how it was going to be sustainable. Then he said something. He kept calling me Matthew again and again and again and again and again and again, like relentlessly.
How did you feel, love?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good job that camera wasn't on me during that VT. I have been stitched up good and proper. And the best thing about it is, right, I knew it was a stitch up all along, but I thought that your Manchester audience were trying to ruin our lovely programme.
When you say that you opened that the camera weren't on you, when do you mean?
Oh, there was a lot of naughty words that I said at the beginning of that VT. You know what, the funny thing is as well,
It was on.
No. Joking.
Yeah, no. So, like I say, we are out of control and we have got you permanently, properly and everything stitched up now.
Well, all I'm going to say is...
Yes.
You need to watch your back, Ms. Scandal.
Oh,
and I recognised the Alex Rusholm as a character from Being Belinda.
Did you really?
Several years ago. The same actor, I believe, played Alex Rusholm. But this time his nose was a little bit more convincing. But to say that, you know what, fair play to you, my love.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. It really wasn't my idea.
So everybody behind the scenes.
You think about stitching me up, it's totally down to our director.
I bet it was.
He really wanted,
Well, I did think it was a little bit suspicious, actually, when we were recording it, that our director wasn't in the studio. Because I felt like this is something he would get all over. I was like, he would absolutely wet himself whilst doing this. And I just thought, that's a bit odd. I was like, maybe he's just not available today. And I left, and I genuinely was like, that was the maddest. I thought Ant and Dec were going to jump out of somewhere.
Well, no, because why have Ant and Dec when you can have a proper scandal flower?
That is very true.
Yes.
You've done very good there, but I would say that there is somebody at your Manchester sat behind the camera right now who needs to watch his back.
Yes.
And let's just say he's just learned to drive. And if he wants to continue driving...
Brake lines. Right, okay. With that in mind, so we got you.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got you.
That was something.
I know, it's good, isn't it? Now, listen, I'm involved in so much at the moment. I thought it was only proper that we had a little bit of an advert for one of the events that I'm involved in. This is going to be the closing party of Trafford Pride. All these little pockets of pride that are dotted about. He's not even looking at me now. All these pockets of pride that are all dotted about. This is what you can look forward to for the closing of Pride.
Hosted by the fabulous Belinda Scandal and Mano Aboca Restaurant, and in conjunction with Waterside Arts. An informal dinner combined with cabaret and music, fundraising raffle and Pride Disco, playing the best in 80s and 90s tunes with a few contempos chucked in. Enjoy a glass of Prosecco on arrival, followed by an informal dinner, including antipasti sharing platters, sliced sharing pizza selection, mini desserts and drink, glass of 175ml wine, Peroni 330ml bottle, or soft drink. Seating available at communal tables of 4, 6 and 8. With individual tickets priced at £55. £5 from each ticket will be donated to the LGBT Foundation, as well as funds raised from raffle prizes on the evening. Book now at Eventbrite/Pride in Trafford closing party tickets.
Well, you see, I'm involved in that much. This has just suddenly become the Belinda Scandal show.
It has indeed, I know.
Because last Friday was part of what I can only describe as one magical, if not moving, event. And it was for two hospices. That's the Willow Hospice and Dr. Kershaw's Hospice. And now every year they have this massive fundraiser of an event. Very glamorous, very beautiful. And this year it was all to do with Strictly Come Dancing. And Mark Llewellyn was hosting it. I was there as a nasty judge. I tried to be.
A nasty
I
judge.
couldn't do it. Honestly, they were just beautiful people. All but very good dancers
You're
as
like
well.
a little pussycat inside, aren't you?
I've never had a pussy inside me, Flo. Now, listen, with that in mind, we went looking and we did a lovely VT and it went just like this.
So when I'm not on the Your Manchester sofa, I'm often to be found at fundraising events. I'm the Vice Chair of Trustees of Willow Hospice. Lots of hospices around Greater Manchester, and we rely on funding from the general public from events like this. In our case, the hospice costs over £2 million a year to run, and the government contribute around 25 to 30%, so the rest has to be fundraised for. And so that's what we're doing here at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in Oldham, doing a Strictly event with Willowwood Hospice and Dr. Kershaw's Hospice.
So what is a Strictly event then?
So a Strictly event is loosely based on the popular BBC TV show. In this case, we've got 12 couples, amateur couples, who've been in training. They'll be dancing tonight. We have a group of judges, including Belinda Scandal, and they have all sort of been raising sponsorship money that goes towards the hospice. And then we have an auction and a raffle and all the rest of it. It's just a great night. And this is the dance floor. There are very few rooms now with a proper dance floor.
Are we going to catch you dancing, Mark?
I will not be dancing. We've had a petition asking not to let me dance. Okay. So no, I won't be. But I'll be hosting tonight, or co-hosting with Jane Hobson.
Okay, and are you taking any inspiration off the Strictly host himself?
Yes, I base my act really on Tess Daly.
Okay.
Or does she copy me? I don't know. I shall be introducing all the acts, we interview them, and then I shall be asking the judges for their scores. We also have to host the auction later. And generally keep things running along for the next 3 hours or so. This is the glitter ball trophy that the winners get their hands on. And then these are Belinda's paddles, you see, to give her scores. In the interval, Belinda is going to be singing as well. So she's doing the cabaret. And then the three of us will be hosting the auction. But yes, the judges will be here. I hope they'll be giving some pithy comments as we go through the evening.
Taking inspiration from Craig.
Well, we do have a bit of Craig, and we also have a judges very much like Bruno Toglioni.
Amazing.
And did fall off his chair last year.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens there.
Hi, I'm Jane Hobson, and I'm here to co-host the Strictly Dance 2023 event with Mark Llewellyn. We are a bit of a double act, it has to be said. If you think of me as Claudia, Mark Llewellyn's Tess, I think that just about covers it, really. I'm there to put the contestants at their ease, because it's really scary. There's 500 people out there waiting to be entertained. They've never done it before. 6 to 8 weeks training, once a week, an hour a week. It's not like Strickland, they're in there 8 hours a day. I think everybody's been touched by cancer or life-limiting illnesses. Dementia and Alzheimer's also get covered by our hospices now as well. So there's hardly a family not touched by that, is there? And if you aren't lucky enough to get in a place, they don't just look after the patient, they look after the family, and they really do. And people don't forget. So when the person has gone, a great way to remember them is to go to a fundraising event. If you can dress up and get your clobber on as well, it's real nice, isn't it?
Definitely. And people are here to have fun. What are you hoping to see from the performances from the dancers?
I want them to have fun, because they should enjoy it. I know they're nervous, but once we tell them get on the floor, they're down there early, put your shoulders back, roll your shoulders back and take a deep breath. And then the music will kick in, and hopefully muscle memory will kick in, and all that training will just take them off. The crowd are really behind them. They really want them to do well, and that carries them along as well. I want them to entertain the crowd, to have fun themselves, and I want everybody in the crowd to go away thinking, I have had a brilliant night and I'm coming again.
Belinda, you're here, and
yes,
you are performing today and being a judge.
Yes.
At this Strictly Dance event.
Yes.
Why is it important that you're here today?
Well, these are just wonderful events, aren't they? Because they're two wonderful hospices within our very beautiful region that don't just look after the people that are going through, they're looking after the families as well, and that's what's really important. I can't imagine what it would be like for the families, never mind I suppose the people that are in there for their illnesses, but the family is just, it's fantastic, and it's worth getting behind it just for that reason, to raise awareness for these two fantastic hospices.
Right.
And the problem I've got here, though, is I want to play the nasty judge, but all these acts are so fantastic. And they've put so much effort into it. And whether they can do a proper waltz or a proper whatever, they're putting so much effort into it. That's what's important.
My name's James. This is
Natasha.
we're going to be dancing tonight for a Strictly Dance competition for Dr. Kershaw's and Willow Hospice.
Okay, and do you have any involvement with Willowwood or Dr. Kershaw?
I don't personally at all, no, just wanted to help raise as much money as possible and support both hospices. Sasha's...
So I've got experience with the hospice because I cared for both my parents in their final days.
Yeah.
So when that happened, me and my sisters really wanted to raise money for them because we know how important it is.
Yeah, so why is it so important that events like this go on today and that everyone gets behind it?
Because the work that they do, they help people in ways that you wouldn't even imagine, especially people that are at the end of life. And it's not just the people that are in the final days that they help, it's all the families, it's the wider community. They do things outside of what they do in the hospice as well, so other causes they actually help towards as well. Well, that's speaking for Dr. Kershaw's.
Oh my God, we have just won Strictly 2023. It is amazing. I feel really emotional, but 3 months of hard work, all choreographed by Tom, and we just won the glitter ball. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, like, not just us as the dancers, but everyone downstairs had an amazing night for such an amazing cause. And hopefully we've raised so much money for such amazing charities and hospices, and
Yeah.
Have either of you ever danced before, or was this the first time?
Absolutely. Only in a nightclub.
Right.
In a nightclub on a Saturday night, that's all I'm used to, but Tom's...
I'm self-taught, so I thought I'll accept the challenge of choreographing it and doing it all ourselves.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just been us two all along.
The win is all down to him. He's just been
not.
absolutely brilliant from the start of January when we started our first training. He's just been absolutely impeccable.
So what does it mean to win this then?
It's more for the hospice more than anything, and the money that's raised, because it's going to the kids' bereavement centre that they're going to build, and it's just absolutely outstanding the work that they do day in, day out. I see it like first hand quite frequently, and it's just absolutely unbelievable.
It does feel nice to win though. If that
definitely.
nice to win.
And why do you think that people should be getting behind things like this and fundraisers for hospices and charities?
Well, I don't think people understand that they are fully funded by things like this. Like, they don't get money from the government, it's all through fundraising and events like this and donations. So it's so important to keep amazing places like this going, to take part in events like this and raise money for them, because they do amazing
the humanity side of it, just how they look after the inpatients and all the people that work there day in day. It's just
100%.
Thank you for Willowwood for asking us to be part. Thank you for all the dancers who have made this whole experience so much fun. We've had so much giggles up here today.
Everyone that's donated all the money towards our Just Givings, and
the event organisers.
The event organisers have been amazing.
Luke for listening and letting me shout at him.
And Tom for doing everything and not getting too mad at me.
Yeah.
Another lovely day, and I'm here at Candle Hill Park here in Royton this week for another edition of Rudd's Rambles. There's a lot to see and to do, so we better get a wriggle on. Come on then, I'm at the beginning right now. So, Candle Hill Park, or Tang as it's affectionately known as to the locals, has 110 acres of land to get around, plus the park was opened in 1994. I dread to think what age I was then. It's a good place to bring your dogs for walking as well. It looks like I'm going into a wood right now. And being in here, it also reminds me of The Wizard of Oz. Now, just there is the War Memorial here at Candle Hill Park, which I'm going to take you up. I've dodged some stairs. Look at them. Go all the way down to the bottom there. I hope I'm going the right way. I've only ever been with friends, so I was going down the wrong way. I'm coming to a wood again in Candle Hill Park, and it's a little bit muddy. I'm a bit scared. Just to prove to you all that I am actually climbing all these steps. I don't actually know how many steps are here. I've made it to the top, very steep up this hill. Now, behind me here at Candle Hill Park is the War Memorial, and it commemorates the men who gave their freedom and honour and their lives for the 2 world wars. I really hope you've enjoyed my Rod's Ramble this week. I'll see you next time, and it's back to the studio.
Is Sir Ian McKellen, who's coming to us very soon from Mother Goose, he had some lovely words the other day when he was on a lovely radio podcast show, and 3 little words the show was called, and this is what he had to say.
If you ever arrive in Manchester, if you're lucky enough to be able to afford the train fare, you come down the steps at Piccadilly, and if you're lucky enough to be able to afford a taxi, you get in the back of one. And the taxi driver, usually a man, but not always, says, "Where are you going to, love?" And I feel I'm home. Where grown men call strangers love. I think if we all did that, it'd be a rather better place, wouldn't it? And when people have got problems with gender and pronouns and so on, love covers everything, really. Just call everyone love.
Well, can you believe it? Well, I certainly can. It's the end of the programme.
It's over, how do you feel?
Stitched up, good and proper.
Well, you are stitched up, good and proper.
I genuinely thought that Ant and Dec were going to jump out at any given moment.
Have a look around. Do you think we could afford Ant and Dec?
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, you've all been absolutely fantastic. Thanks to each and every one of you for watching this week's episode of
Your Manchester!